Assassin's Creed Valhalla comes out today, Lou. You know, based in a Viking England. I think it looks pretty cool, to be honest. I like the environment.
It's like I said, it's copying this RPG formula again, and you know how I feel about Assassin's Creed and RPGs these days. It's just killed it for me.
I think it had to be done though, to be honest. I think they recycled the same formula for so long. If they didn't upgrade their own mechanics, everything else around them was being improved.
No, see, I disagree with you here, and this is why, Dill. I think RPGs, for a lot of people, are boring or just overwhelming. It's one of the two.
Oh, that's not... I don't think that's true either.
It's very true.
It's not.
It's so true.
Not, though.
It's so true.
All of the best games in the world are RPGs.
Skyrim, like RPGs.
Fallout, Cyberpunk, that's coming out. That's already gone gold just by pre-orders. So it's not like people don't like RPGs. And I feel like it gives more creative flexibility.
Those games and titles were built for an RPG game. Assassin's Creed was not an RPG game to start off with, and now they're just like shoehorning it into being an RPG game.
They haven't
and that's why it doesn't work.
That's why they had a 2-year gap. Obviously, there's
a 2-year gap. I mean, that's such a long time.
It's not a long. It's not a long time.
Franchise.
But for Ubisoft's sake, you have to know that an Assassin's Creed game is important for their profits. So they're not going to wait like 5 years or so. They need to release one. So at least they took another year out to define the game mechanics for an RPG.
Yeah, I know, but again, it just goes against everything that was the Assassin. It's just they've changed the complete genre of the game.
Yeah, that's fine.
I've always
said that's fine.
That the reason why the original Assassin's Creed was so good, so I'm talking from Assassin's Creed to maybe Black Flag. I do like Black Flag a lot. I don't really like number 3, but I do like... They all are pretty solid games. The reason why those games are they're really well received is because the stories in them were pretty good. They were fun stories. And I think that's for me. That's always been why I love to play Assassin's Creed. It wasn't because I cared too much about the gameplay. Everyone knew that when you walked into a room and you took out 20 men with your sword, it's like, it's ridiculous.
Hold X to win.
Cool doing it. Yeah, I know hold X to win.
It's so boring, mate.
You felt so cool.
All you needed was a thumb to play that game. You just needed your
I'm not saying they could have improved the mechanic. I'm not saying they could have gone down... And this is what I'm saying. They went down the wrong route here by evolving the game. They should have looked at the games like Batman Arkham Asylum and stuff like that. Let's look at the Batman Arkham series. It's their combat and how they counter and play against enemies. That is how they should have rehauled Assassin's Creed.
No, but you mentioned that. But at least Batman took more years off to develop their mechanics. They were releasing game year after year. Imagine if there was a game each year for Uncharted. Imagine how boring you would be.
Yeah, it would have been very boring.
Yeah, but that's why they had to improve their mechanics, man.
Yeah, but this is the thing now. Because they've done it so many times, they think, okay, the game's stale. We need to do something crazy because we've just destroyed our fans' interest. We've made them so bored of the franchise. They've gone the complete wrong direction by making it into an RPG game. And a lot of the original fans of Assassin's Creed weren't RPG fans. I am not an RPG. I don't mind RPGs, but I don't go out and play them.
Yeah,
and
but I think it's a small sacrifice. It's a small
sacrifice.
Yeah,
it's the whole way. It's not a small sacrifice. It's the whole game.
A lot of people like the new games. The one thing that Ubisoft did really well in the older games was environment design. And why not make it in a bigger map? Like Odyssey has such a good environmental design. They have their own. They have their own.
I'm not denying that.
Yeah, but they have their own like tourism part of the game. To explore ancient Greece. That's how good the game is.
Yeah, visually, the games have always been 3D.
There's so many more better mechanics in this game. Like the mercenary system, crafting, the skills trees. There's so many flexibility. They had
crafting in the original ones. It wasn't as in depth,
it was like
they had crafting.
4 swords and a new dagger. That was literally it. And a cape. And a cape. Like, Ezio flexed his cape. That did nothing for me, really.
Oh, come on. You knew when you equipped yourself with a new cape, you felt like a boss.
Yeah, I know, but with everyone else evolving around you, you can't just keep using the same thing. There was no way they were going to make as much money.
They could have easily refined the stealth and the fighting aspects rather than change the whole formula of the franchise, which I think is the wrong decision to make. People don't. You look at the Odysseys and Origins and now Valhalla time announced today.
Yeah.
Like they've gone. It's so massive. The maps. It's so overwhelming that it makes it harder to tell a good story because, like you said, you've just got so much world map to explore. If you went down to like Assassin's Creed, which one was in Rome? Is it Brotherhood?
Yeah, Brotherhood.
That was in Rome. Yeah. If you made that into a sprawling Rome map and all that, like how they've done these recent ones, if you made that into Rome and then you told the story from Brotherhood to Rome, I think that would be a fantastic Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah, but they've already done that though, so they're not going to do that anymore.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that it looks like these maps, as gorgeous as they look, it looks like they're building these maps first and then thinking, how can we tell a story about this character in this map? I think they've gone the wrong way around.
No, yes and no, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I think a lot of people play RPGs for different reasons. For example, I didn't even complete Odyssey, but I didn't feel like I had to. I played like...
You didn't complete it?
No, I played 90 hours and I was so content of doing all of the side stuff. I just didn't want to play the main story. And there's a lot of games like that.
But I think that's wrong though.
If
you're playing the game to play the main story, surely you want to finish the main story.
No, not really. There's loads of games where you just don't need to play the main story.
And I bet you all these other games are all RPG games because they can be so overwhelming and boring.
No, it's not overwhelming. There's just more mechanics in the game
I
that
bet
you
you
enjoy.
the games you haven't completed the main stories are RPG games probably.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean...
I didn't even finish Red Dead 2 because it got so boring about how to clean a horse 5 times a day.
Yeah, but another example of that, the mechanics made the game more better. If you're just relying on story, you're relying on you're relying on one linear path to the end for that to be good. No. So if one part of that story is bad, then the whole experience is bad. If I'm experiencing the game from multiple ways, then I'm going to have more of an enjoyable time.
No, because I want to be a really cool assassin, Dill. But
your
I'm picking
idea...
up Assassin's Creed to be a cool assassin. I don't want to walk into an area and see, oh, he's level 40, can't attack him. Fuck that. I want to be able to take on any man that comes across me or woman.
What, by just holding X? So you just basically want to breathe.
I said this to you. They needed to evolve the combat system.
So how would you evolve it? Because your examples was Batman, and Batman's literally the same thing. It's literally spam X, press Y to dodge, get your bar up, press X again. That's literally it.
Yeah, but it did. In those situations, even what about Spider-Man then? Spider-Man's combat, that was really fluid.
No, that was fluid, but they had loads of gadgets and stuff.
Yeah, but you can still, that's what I mean, they evolved it, so you can incorporate all those sort of gadgets, and like, you had that in Assassin's Creed with pistols and smoke bombs and stuff. Yeah, you but Spider-Man's... Assassin's Creed.
No, because Spider-Man's different, because a lot of it relied on movement. If there was no web slinging, the combat would be the same.
It's not always web slinging. You can make a nice fluid combat system with swords based on Spider-Man's mechanics and combat system. Personally, I think you can do that.
Yeah, but even in Spider-Man, you had to dodge and stuff. You couldn't just press X to counter.
I know, and that's what I mean.
That's OP ability.
You evolve that into Assassin's Creed. You take that and evolve it in Assassin's Creed combat. Not a lot of people. I think this is the problem with RPGs. Not a lot of people want to spend a whole load of time having satisfying battles with every individual person.
Yeah, but that's fine. But then you can just play on the easiest difficulty and breeze through. Like I said, I chose to like do all of the ship battles, all of the hidden temples, all of the mercenary stuff. I chose to do that. But if you want to focus on the main story, you can just turn down that difficulty because you love to spam X and you want that easy mode.
It's not about loving to spam X.
If you're too scared to dodge left and then attack, you can just turn it down, scale up.
I mean, even the combats in Assassin's Creed now, I remember when it first came out, or watched Origins, it just felt so cartoonish, the way he just did a massive dodge. It looked like they just did a massive dodge to the left. And yeah, the way he was swooping around this like level 20. It just didn't look natural.
What do you mean? It's similar to loads of games like that.
No.
Witcher 3 is literally like, yeah.
Oh, The Witcher, which is for say the fantasy worlds, like it doesn't make sense.
So it makes more sense that Ezio stands in the middle of 17 guys and you hold down X and you win. That makes more sense.
I'm not saying about holding down X all the time.
Yeah, but you're saying
evolve the combat. You're saying people liked doing
but that's not realistic
because it was fun to do.
Yeah, fun doesn't mean it's good though. A lot of things is fun.
It doesn't matter. matter about if it's good.
Yes, it does.
It was fun.
It doesn't. So there's loads of good. No,
I said they went down the route. If you can tell a memorable story with some really cool characters, like a lot of the characters and the stories were in the original Assassin's Creed games, it doesn't really matter too much about the combat. There wasn't a lot of flawless.
Yeah, but there wasn't even a lot apart from the Ezio stories. I actually argue that the other stories weren't even that good. I can't remember the Black Flag story because I was too busy destroying ships. Rogue is basically a clone of Black Flag, so no one cares.
I don't claim ownership over Rogue.
Oh, okay, so you're just going to ignore it. Syndicate, I don't think anyone knows the ending of Syndicate because it's so lackluster and forgetful.
I can't tell you the story of Syndicate.
So you're literally saying that four of the older games was good, and that's only good because of Ezio.
I am more focused on the Ezio trilogy and the Altair game.
Yeah, but that's because of one character. You only played that because of Ezio. If it was any other protagonist, you wouldn't have cared.
Yeah, but I liked the protagonist in Syndicate and in Black Flag. Like, I like Edward Kenway and I like the fight.
Yeah, no, but their story is lackluster.
Yeah, exactly, but that's nothing to do with the characters. That's the actual storytelling, and that's where I think
they focused.
Yeah, but their roots.
No, they focused on storytelling on those games. And
they did. In this stories, the villain in Syndicate, it was some random not old guy. He was just some really stereotypical English villain of the Victorian times. He was such a forgetful villain. Not compared to the fat geezer in the Ezio trilogy who became the Pope and all that. He was a really good villain. But the guy in Syndicate was so forgetful, and this is what I'm saying, that they are focusing on changing up the franchise in the wrong area. You don't need to change the whole game style. But you needed to focus on the story.
Yeah, but the story was good in Odyssey.
No, it wasn't.
It was good.
It's complete it.
Yeah, that doesn't mean I didn't think it was good. I just thought there was more stuff to do. So
if you didn't want to complete the story, it can't have been that good. Call me old-fashioned, but if you don't complete the story,
that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. That's because I complete a game. That doesn't mean I don't think it's good. There's loads of games I haven't completed that I think it's good.
That's crazy.
What do you mean that's crazy?
The story in Odyssey, I don't think was that great.
The story in Black Flag wasn't great either. The story in Syndicate wasn't great. But they had more. I know. But Odyssey had more mechanics than those two games combined. I was more entertained by doing those other stuff than I could be with Black Flag. That's what I'm saying.
At the same time, with those games played,
if those stories are bad, why else would I play that game? If it's just solely focused on those games.
Those new games that you've played, the Odysseys, the Origins, and I'm guessing you probably will pick up Valhalla. When you play those games, you could literally just get a little eraser, pick up the game, and just wipe off Assassin's Creed.
So but you can say that
away from your roots.
No, not but you can say that after Assassin's Creed Revelations as well.
No,
you can. Black Flag, you're a pirate. You're a pirate. You're not an assassin. You're a pirate.
I mean, Black Flag was probably one of the last fun games I've had, but I can admit
but you're a pirate.
This is where they started to shift away from actually telling a good story to adding some really cool mechanics.
In Syndicate, you wore a top hat, bro. You didn't even have a hood. You had a top hat.
You had a top hat.
Yeah, see? So that has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with it.
No, I genuinely think this RPG elements that they're so focused on is the wrong focus for an Assassin's Creed game. They need to go back to a time where they could tell a really compelling story. I don't care what anyone says, they still haven't given us a protagonist that you could put up there with the likes of Altair and Ezio. Call me Assassin's Creed loyalist.
They
have not touched those two characters.
But everything else about the story is better. So that's fine.
It's not. It's not. They haven't touched the story level quality of those games. They haven't touched presenting the character as good as those two characters.
There's better side characters as well.
And because they can't, they have to think, well, let's just impress people like you a different way by making it an RPG game.
That's not true. There's loads of games that's involved as well. God of War involved for the right reasons as well. That could have easily been a brawler game.
It's still a hack and slash.
No, it's not.
It's refined. It's refined.
No,
it's refined.
It's not a hack and slash though. You dodge as well. You have to dodge.
You don't. No, exactly. That
doesn't make it a hack and slash. That doesn't make it a hack and slash. There's RPG elements as well. You can make Kratos a tank. You can just make him have loads of damage. You can focus on your runic.
I think that's RPG elements. They've done. No. You can take some of it, but not make it into an RPG game.
And again, there hasn't been 13 God of War games. They have to evolve.
That's not my fault. I didn't put these games up. They have to evolve because they ran it into the ground and now they've evolved it into the wrong direction.
They did. Some of these games they shouldn't even have done.
No, but that's neither here or there. But they've ruined it with the RPG. I believe I am right.
They ruined it. No, you're wrong.
I am right.
Your argument is that because I don't like RPG, this game's bad.
Oh well,
that is so old. You wonder how old you are.
In 3 years' time, when you get bored of the RPG games because they've put out three
I'll
RPG
never,
games
I'll,
in the space
I'll
of
never,
3 years.
I'll never.
No, you will
bored.
because this is the third one they've put out in 3 years now. So when you get bored of it, inevitably, you can be like, well, let's change it up and make it into a football game.
I will never get bored of RPGs because there's always new mechanics to try. As long as there's new mechanics, I don't have to rely. Like I said, Luke, I don't have to rely on storytelling. I'm a gamer.
Crazy.
There's other stuff that entertain me. If you have to rely on a story, read a book.
Well, we'll have to let the people watching decide, Dill. And if they think you're right, let us know in the comments that Dill's right. If you do think Dill's right, I have a doctor for you to also go and visit.
Guys, they're pro gamers. They know I'm right. There's other stuff than a story to play in a game.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.